It's muted. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. Whoo-wee. It's never a dull moment, is it? Hey, if you're watching this live right now, please hit the thumbs up for me. If you're watching the replay of this, if you just happen to be watching the replay, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. I have so much information to share with you. And if you're watching live right now, it is Monday, July the 7th. July the 7th, 2025. And I will be taking your phone calls. I'm going to open up the phone lines. Last time I opened up the phone lines, not too many people called in. They're a little shy. But I'm kind of curious. I want to see and hear what you have to say about all of this. The DOJ says that they're closing the case. There is no Epstein client list, which brings up a whole bunch of questions. I mean, a lot of questions. So much to discuss about this. Now, this entire time, I've been giving Pam Bondi the benefit of the doubt. I said, look, a lot of people kept complaining. She's not doing her job. She's not doing the right thing. She's not working for President Trump. She's lying. And I kept saying, maybe she just, crossing all of her T's, dotting all the I's before they come out with information. And she's becoming a complete disappointment. When President Trump was in office the first time, his attorney general was who? The first one, Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions did not do his job. President Trump had to fire him. And then, before President Trump left, it was Attorney General Barr. Bill Barr. President Trump basically had to fire him. Did not do his job. And now we have Pam Bondi. I don't know what it is about these attorney generals that work for President Trump, because the attorney generals that work for Obama and for Clinton and for Biden, they did all the corrupt stuff that they wanted them to do. Everything corrupt. They wanted them to do it. Now we actually have a president that's in the office, and we want the DOJ to finally get these corrupt people, and nothing. Zero, nada, zip. None of it's happening. Why not? And Elon Musk, he's been putting this post out there, and he's been trying to tell people, say, look, he's going to start a third party, right? He's going to start a third party called the America First Party. Call it the America First Party. Now, he's from South Africa talking about America First. Imagine that. But it's really looking like, he might be on to something. I'm just saying, it looked like, because I'm like really against it, because President Trump, he's basically reformed the Republican Party to the MAGA Republican Party, which is actually supposedly trying to get back on the right track for the country. But you have too many rhinocrats. You have too many of them in there that's trying to push back because they want to be part of the establishment. And a lot of these people, a lot of them, that were going out there saying, oh, they're MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Then all of a sudden they get up on Capitol Hill and they completely flip-flop because they become part of the establishment. All that money starts rolling in. They start looking the other way. But Pam Bondi, I had high hopes for Pam Bondi. I just knew Pam Bondi was not going to be like Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr. I just knew she was going to be different. I just knew it. I was wrong. And in the back of my mind, I'm still hoping like maybe this is just like a kind of like a setup type deal. Maybe this is just something for them just to, to get people, the left on there to say, oh yeah, release the files. Oh, we know there's files. We know there's a list. And before I get to any videos that I want to share with you, I want to talk about this really quick. So Pam Bondi, she's on there and she's strong. I love it when you have a strong woman. She's saying the right things, the key points. It's all there. She's doing what you're like, wow, she's strong. I like what she's saying. And just fall flat on her face. And then Kash Patel. Then we got Kash Patel. Kash Patel went on all these different media outlets, all these different talk shows saying, yeah, Epstein this and Epstein that, the flight list, all of it. Talked about how corrupt the FBI was. This is when he was on the outside, talking in. how corrupt the FBI was, how he's going to make all of these positive changes when it's all said and done. He was going to make the positive changes that the American people have been screaming about. We were screaming for the same thing that he was saying. We were all screaming for it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. And he kept saying once he gets in there, he's going to change. He's going to bring the FBI back to the glory of which it should be. That never happened. On the outside looking in, it doesn't look that way. And so many people are so upset right now. Because even if you don't even talk about the Epstein files, right? Let's say we drop the whole Epstein case because they say the case is closed. Let's just say, well, okay, we know what? Okay, there's nothing there. There's no flight list. There's no flight manifest. There's none of that there. Let's say we let all that go. What about all of the other corruption? The fake Russia dossier? What about that? The CIA just reported, last week or the week before, that it came out that they all lied about it. Brennan, Comey, all of them. They knew that it was fake information. Obama knew about it. All of that. No one's been arrested. No one's been indicted. Where's Kash Patel? Kash Patel, one of the things that he did was, we're going to move the FBI to a big, new, beautiful building. Oh, look what we did, everybody. Oh, of course, they get some Trey de Agua, MS-13 members. They arrest them. They're going out getting them. Okay. That's part of the job. We expect you to do that. But we also expected you to get these people that have been destroying this country, doing all this corruption, and zero, not a zip, not a single person has been indicted, has been subpoenaed to my understanding. Not a single arrest has been made. And we all know this. This is the most frustrating part about all this. We all know that they've done something wrong. And nothing. And then Dan Bongino. Oh my goodness, dude. And see, the thing is, I want to say I have respect for Pam Bondi. I want to say I have respect for Kash Patel. And I have respect for Dan Bongino. And again, Dan Bongino, did his Rumble show. He would get hundreds of thousands of people. Sometimes he would have over 100,000 people tuning in because he was talking about all of the Epstein files, talking about the corruption in the FBI, talking about all of this stuff that he can see just like the rest of us. Just like the rest of us. I'm not sure what I'm like coughing. I'm sorry about that. I'm like, wow, that's coming through. So he did his Rumble show all this time, and he was on there hammering it, hitting it hard. Not even talking about one day he's going to be part of the FBI. Not even mentioning it, right? He probably did. It probably wasn't even in his foresight. Probably wasn't even thinking about it. Maybe thought, well, if I ever, maybe that taking place. But I never, as much as I watched him, I didn't watch him religiously, but I would see him every now and then. I'd never seen him say, I'm going to join the FBI. But then when they called him and say, hey, we want you to join, we're going to hammer this. He was like, yes, how can I say no? And then he went on there and said that he saw the evidence and Epstein did not off himself. Epstein didn't do it. Epstein didn't do it. He didn't do himself in the jail cell. And of course, it just so happened the cameras were shut down. The two police officers that were on guard, they didn't see nothing apparently. I think they were like called away or something. But the camera just happened to be out during that time period. Just during that time period. Before then, it was fine. After then, it was fine. But just during the time period where Epstein decided to off himself, the camera wasn't working. But he did it to himself. I don't think anyone is buying it. I'm not buying it. And when Dan Bongino was on there, when he was saying, yeah, I looked at the evidence, as much as I've seen him doing his Rumble show, when he did his Rumble show, he was so powerful. He was so confident. The corruption, he would be cursing. He's all about it. Dan Bongino, he was on it. And then when he was saying, I saw the evidence, all of a sudden, his demeanor completely changed. Did y'all notice that? I mean, when I'm sitting there looking at him, I said, man, he looked, what's the word I'm looking for? He looked beside himself. He looked like he saw a ghost. And you can tell he was completely feeling like he wasn't comfortable in his skin at all. And I'm talking about Dan Bongino. When he was on there saying that, yeah, he saw it, he did not look comfortable at all. Did y'all notice that too? A lot of people were talking about that, like, man, he doesn't look comfortable at all. Like, something's not right here. But nonetheless, he kept going with that story. He kept pushing it. And now they come out and say that there is no list. Every single flight, even the small, what they call them, biplanes, these little small planes, every single plane, every single flight has a flight manifest. Every single one of them. When there was one time when President Trump needed a flight from some place to some other place. And Epstein offered his plane to President Trump. We all know that President Trump was on the plane. There's no flight record of President Trump going to Epstein Island, but there was a flight record of President Trump using Epstein's flight, his plane, from going one place to another place in the United States of America. How do we know this? Because there's a flight manifest. There's a flight log. But now all of a sudden, there's no flight log of anybody but Epstein. He's the only one. I mean, who were the pilots? Do we not have any information on that? The pilots? What about the stewardess? As filthy rich as he was, you mean to tell me he didn't have any stewardess on there? And then come to find out, all of the children that he was flying over there, they said it was thousands of them. And you mean to tell me he's flying thousands of children to this island and he's the only one? How many of y'all buying it? How many of y'all buying it? So I'm just kind of curious. What do you think? I got the phone line open. We are live. It is July the 7th, 319-527-3453. Give me a call. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think me personally, after looking at Dan Bongino, he didn't look like he was feeling comfortable in his skin. I think they got to him. And for me, if you ask me, this just goes to show that the deep state can get to anybody. They got the Dan Bongino. Could I be wrong? I mean, it really doesn't look like it. I would like to be wrong, to be honest with you. But it looks like they got the Dan Bongino. Looks like they got the Cash Bartel. They got the Pam Bondi. President Trump, last week or the week before, President Trump was doing a press conference and Pam Bondi was standing there next to him. And he was saying that he made this comment about Pam Bondi, saying that she's doing good so far. And he also said it might change, but right now I got good high expectations for her. I'm paraphrasing here. I got good high expectations for her. But it could change. It could change. See, the DOJ, they report to President Trump, but they have every right to go after criminals. It is their job to go after criminals. They don't go to President Trump. And see, this is what the radical left is saying right now. That they went to President Trump and President Trump told them not to release the list. After President Trump says, yeah, we're going to release the files. We're going to work on releasing the files. So President Trump, he's always kept his promises. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. Now, why in the world is Pam Bondi come out all of a sudden and said that there is no list? How many of y'all buying it? I'm not buying it. There's always a flight list. There's a flight manifest. That's what they call it. Flight manifest. And you know what? I went on there. I went on to Grok, right? If y'all know what that is, that's the Google version. I don't Google questions any longer. I go into Grok because Grok will give me a more information or not such a left leaning for the most part. There's sometimes it actually has been updated. So it's not giving such left leaning information any longer. It's just giving straight up facts. But nonetheless, I asked Grok about, does every flight have a flight list? And it says, yes, it is considered or called the flight manifest. Every one of them has it because from the people flying the plane, from the stewardess, from the people working on the plane, even those that work on the engine, they record all of that data because if something happens, they need to question everybody involved. Does that make sense? They question everybody from the person who put air in the tires. They have to have all of that data. They gather all of that information. That's part of the manifest. Everything. That's why when planes come up missing, what's the first thing they ask? Where's the flight manifest? Who are all the people on the plane? Then they want to dig down into every single person that was on the plane to see if they find out if there was a reason, it could be malicious reasons why something happened to the plane. The manifest. But in this case, there's no manifest. 319-527-3453 if you want to holler at me. Come on, I don't bite that hard. Give me a call. Give me a call. While you're contemplating on give me a call, let me play for you. Here's Pam Bondi, where she went on Fox News, and everyone was on there talking about her running to Fox News. She was quick to run to Fox News over and over and over and over and over again, while no one was getting arrested. Everyone was complaining about her running on Fox News. Let me play this for you. This is a recap from when Pam Bondi went on Fox News talking about the client list. And then we're going to go to your phone calls.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
What's sitting on her desk? What is sitting on her desk? Was she lying when she went on here? Was she lying? Look, this came out of her mouth. I'm not putting anything in her mouth. She said this.
Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
Let's go to the phone line.
Okay, well, we have Carla from Illinois.
Hello, Carla. Thank you so much for the call.
Good afternoon, you guys. Late afternoon here. I don't believe in BS. These guys have been feeding.
Say, Carla, you sound very distant. I can barely hear you.
This? Is that better?
Do you have me like on speakerphone or earpiece or something?
I'm on a speakerphone.
Yeah, can you take me off a speakerphone? Because it's making it really difficult for me to hear you.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me get to it so I can do that.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Is that better?
Much better.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yep. Much better. So what do you think?
No, I was just saying that nobody believes this BS. They're giving us false hope on this crap.
Yeah. But why do you think they're doing it? Because we know that there's a flight list. We know there's a manifest. Why do you think that all of a sudden the DOJ that we're supposed to be able to trust, is telling us that there's no flight manifest?
Well, either they're trying to protect someone high up that they need,
mm-hmm.
or the FBI and the CIA destroyed all the evidence. Or they're trying to say that they don't have no evidence. Well, somebody has to have evidence. Courts, when Epstein was tried and put in jail, there's got to be evidence.
And why was he put in jail?
Yeah, and the thing is if you're not guilty, why do you kill yourself? If there's no evidence.
Yeah, why do you off yourself if there's, really? If you didn't do anything wrong. And then in that case, at the same time, if he didn't do anything wrong, why did they put him in jail in the first place?
Right. And the same thing with Ghislaine Maxwell. If she didn't do anything, why is she sitting in jail?
Yeah, why is she sitting there?
Why
This is such a deep state. And like I said, I think the deep state, this just proves that they can get to anybody.
Right. And I see that, you look at how the people that come up with, that they would testify or have, were the ones that were involved in it, and the girls that have come out, and then they all kind of get disappeared,
Yeah. Yeah. You don't
like
hear nothing from
the
them.
one. Right. And then that newscaster that reported it, and they wouldn't put it on the air. They
I remember
it.
that. Yeah. I think that I think it was on ABC she was on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It was one of them, right? And she reported on it, then they took her down.
Yeah, they wouldn't air it, and then they fired her, I think.
Yep.
And it's like, and okay, then why was Prince is it Prince Andrew?
I believe
why was
so.
he stripped of all of his? Why was he stripped of all of his stuff? If he wasn't guilty,
there's so many questions.
Somebody has gotten through to where they want it hush-hushed. They don't want any more of, it's either that or there's more stuff in there about Trump, which, possibly could be, but I doubt it, because he was the first one to come out and say, I distance him. He's the one that said he'd put the man in jail for whatever,
Yeah. You're
Trump was all
correct.
out for that.
100% correct. Well, hey, Carla, thank you so much for taking the time to give me a call.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I didn't get a hold of you the past week or so. I've been busy. So
oh, you're fine. Thank you so much for listening in, though.
And you guys are doing a great job, and I do appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nobody's told me that lately. I appreciate you guys for putting out the word.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Bless you guys too.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Have a great week. All right. Well, we have another caller. The last four numbers are 9992.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, am I on?
You're on. What's your first name? Where you calling from?
This is Gary O'Connell. I'm calling from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Hey, Gary. Thank you so much for the call. What do you think?
Yeah, Will, you're a very intelligent gentleman. I've always loved listening to you. You're very articulate, and you're spot on, I think. I think they're trying to hide something, sir.
Let me ask you this too, Gary.
Said,
just really quick, Gary, and I want to get your opinion on this too. If they actually, because see, a lot of the left are saying that the reason why that they're not releasing or saying that there's no Epstein client list is because they're saying President Trump is on it. If President Trump was on the Epstein client list, they would have released that when it was Biden's DOJ. They would have got the auto pen to do a signature on there and say release it, showing that President Trump was on there. But they didn't do that. So for them to constantly say that, I think they're just lying. Correct?
No, you're right. I mean, and I know some people that know Dan Bongino. He's salt of the earth, and Cash Patel's terrific. But I didn't think anybody would be able to get to these guys. But it makes me now wonder. I mean, what's really going on? Because Dan is getting sideways, and Pam Bondi's kind of going. They're hushed up. I mean, a lot of people really believe Epstein might still be alive. They staged it all. I mean, it's just amazing that film footage was not right supposedly when he got killed, right? Supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly like I said, right before it happened, the cameras were working fine, the security guards were there, no issues. Then it happened.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, no security guards, no one sees anything, and the camera doesn't even see anything. And then afterwards, the camera and the security guards are back.
Well, they're saying that the full uninterrupted video is up. It's 10 hours worth. They have the link out there where it's the same video apparently that Cash Patel and Bongino watched.
I mean, you can't edit a video.
I mean, you can't edit a video.
I mean, all they have to do is make it look like he's sleeping, and then just cut it, and then cut back and cut it to that part.
Yeah. I mean,
there's guys that are good enough to do that. You're right. Well,
the sad thing is,
you've always been an intelligent gentleman. I always loved your show, but I think Epstein had so much stuff on so many people, gentlemen. He really did, and it's like, man, we got to stop this.
Yeah,
this guy's going to take the whole side of the mountain. It's not going to be good. So, and what about Maxwell? Is she going to say, well, you guys convicted me, I'm sitting in jail for 20 years, so what was I convicted of?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Keep ruling like this, see?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to really answer for that, Will.
Yeah. You know what? Inquiring minds want to know.
How can you have
We need to start asking those questions.
Yeah.
Put the pressure on them. Well, okay, what about Gillette, Miss Maxwell? Are you going to let her out because you convicted this lady?
Yeah,
now we're going down this road, see?
Yeah.
They convicted her of sex trafficking, right? And that's what apparently Epstein was going to trial for. You said she was with him,
so apparently now you're saying the people, the roads, the planes, this didn't happen now.
Well, they're saying that all the thousands of children were there just for Epstein, which we know is a total lie.
I don't know if they're necessarily saying that.
I mean, that's what they're alluding to.
Yeah,
because they're saying that there is no list. Like, there's no one else involved.
They are saying that thousands and thousands of hours of video are of Epstein and child pornography and that type of thing is what they're saying. So who got rid of the evidence at this point is what I'm wondering.
Well, I know a couple of the people, I'm not going to mention their names, but they're high up. And they said they had so much stuff on the Clintons, and Bill himself, he's on that log 15, 20 times. And they said he's still pushing back. And we already know about the Clinton suicides. We don't want to get into that too much. I want to make sure you pray for your safety, Will, because, you start getting too close and all of a sudden, you're not suicidal, are you, Will?
No, not at all. Not at all. I love life. Brother? I love life, and I want to live it to the fullest.
Well, God bless you, man. You're here, one of my heroes, man. And I worry about guys like you because, they don't. When you start getting too close to the gold bars, man, they tell you, hey, take it easy a little bit. You're doing a good job, but I don't know. Do you think there's going to be a serious conclusion to it, Will? Let me ask you. Do you think it's just going to be games?
I think what's going to end up happening is that there's going to be an outcry, and then maybe Peter Doocy or somebody's going to ask President Trump about it. And I can imagine right now President Trump is a little perturbed, because people were asking him, and did Pam Bondi lie to President Trump? Did she say that there was a list? Because she said it was on her desk. I mean, so who is she lying to President Trump now? So I think President Trump is going to probably have to make some dramatic changes here.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's going to have to. You're right, sir. He's going to have to say, we're going to have to answer to this. I mean, especially Dan Bongino. He said he's going to get to the bottom of it. And, he protected Obama, and he was already saying there's some shady stuff around. Yeah. And now he's kind of backing up a little bit, and he's got that radio show broadcast too. So I don't know. There's a lot of games going on inside the big game at this level. You all know that.
Yeah,
Will.
I agree.
But it's an honor talking with you, sir. You are a first-class gentleman.
Thank you,
you got
sir.
A great show.
Thank you.
I hope the people finally get the truth.
Yeah,
I really do.
Here.
And I think it's really buried, but Giselle can walk free now if they just leave it like this. Think about it.
I mean, seriously, there's nothing to say, hey, you're holding me for what now? So
you can. I'm not going to serve his 20 years. What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is like what with the corruption?
What's going on?
Yep. Well, hey, Gary, thank you so much for the call. God bless you, sir.
Sir, you have a wonderful day. God bless.
Too. Okay, so let me play another clip for you. This is one of President Trump's firecracker attorneys. She went on with Piers Morgan. Now, apparently she had access to certain information as well about the Epstein client list.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway. We don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Kash and Pam, there will be accountability.
Now she believes. And see, now I'm not saying that she was lying. I'm not saying that at all. Maybe she was fed. I mean, this is how I look at it. That she was fed the same information President Trump was fed. So she got the same information, and she's out here saying, look, I don't know how you can't be shocked about this. And she didn't say it was a singular person. She didn't say it was a few people. She said it was multiple people. Same thing that Pam Bondi alluded to, that there was multiple people involved in this. Multiple people. The deep state is bigger than we all can imagine. I mean, it is bigger than we all can imagine. For them to get to these people that we were rallying behind, we will support them. The deep state comes in. Who else is it? What else is it? If it's not the deep state, then what? The deep state has convinced these people to be quiet. Now, if you don't think it's the deep state and you think, hey, Will Johnson, you got it all wrong. It's not the shadow government. It's not the deep state. It is just her because she's probably on it, or other people that she had family members that were on it. There's a reason why Pam Bondi shut it down. There's a reason why. 319-527-3453. Give me a call and tell me what you think. And let me bring something else to everyone's attention. I don't know if anyone has thought about this, but they just had the Diddy case and Diddy walks free for similar things. So now I guess there's no Diddy baby oil either. There is no Diddy baby oil. He did nothing wrong. So he's basically walking free. Same thing here. They were transporting people for their perverted needs. Epstein transported people for their perverted needs. Diddy, he encouraged people to come to those Diddy parties. Now, look, if you're an adult and you want to go to a Diddy party and do your thing, no one can say anything. But it's not legal to transport people for the things that they were doing. It's not legal. Just like it wasn't legal for Epstein to transport children to do the things that they were doing. And then again, you have Bill Clinton, a picture that someone painted of Bill Clinton. He was in a dress and it was hanging on the wall at Epstein Island. So why in the world would there be a picture of Bill Clinton at Epstein Island on the wall? Anybody? But it was only Epstein going to the island, him and Max, right? Just the two of them. You ever smell rotten fish? Because something smells fishy. Now, here's Dan Bongino. Here's Dan Bongino. 2023 and now 2025. And let's see if we can see the difference.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
And when he was on there with her the Sunday morning, I saw that video and he looked like he was completely uncomfortable in his skin. There's a two totally different Dan Bonginos. He knew something was going on. We all knew something was going on. This is such a scandal. I mean, it really is. You can take them off the screen. And what it makes me think about is that this whole Epstein thing is so much bigger than Bill Clinton. It is so much bigger than we probably would ever even know. For them to come and to shut it down, saying, "Oh, the case is closed. There's no list. Move on. Nothing to see here." Right in front of our faces, after they came out and told us repeatedly that there was a client list. So were they lying then, or are they lying now? And what makes it more frustrating is that we advocated for these people. We supported these people. We went toe-to-toe with Democrats for these people. And the Democrats are all giddy about it right now. Oh, look at this, look at this. Well, one thing that is good about it, they're all saying that, no, release the list. We know there's a list. We know there's a list. And just like I mentioned earlier, they're saying that the reason why they're not releasing it because President Trump is on the client list. Remember, Elon Musk, when he got upset with President Trump, he said President Trump was on the client list. Then, of course, after that, he came back and said, I shouldn't have said that. Because if President Trump, once again, was on that client list, Biden's DOJ or Biden's DOJ would have released the list, making sure that people like President Trump's name would show up on it. They could have even faked it, but they didn't do that either. They probably wish they did. Had they known, they'd be like, oh my goodness, if we could have faked that. I mean, they faked the Russia dossier. Why not go ahead and put President Trump's name on there too? Right? That would have been the idea. That would have been the idea to put it on there. Why not? They could have done all of that to make it look like President Trump was there, Epstein Island, but there's no record of it, or they would have released it. They would have released it. Now, you ever heard of Judge Napolitano? I want y'all to listen to this. Judge Napolitano. He actually put his statement out about this as well and saying that, you know what, this is just going to open up more questions and it's going to take us down into probably a deeper rabbit hole. I mean, it looks like the swamp creatures put on a good face, and they're still at it.
FBI Director Kash Patel, right? Dan Bongino, the Deputy FBI Director, both firmly in the camp prior to this of believing there was a cover-up. Now both saying there isn't.
Add the Attorney General and the President of the United States. Add a federal district court judge in Brooklyn here in New York City who presided over the trial, at the end of which she ordered everything released. So something is amiss here. Politically, the MAGA base won't be happy about this because they've been promised that it will be released. And some of the names you mentioned were leaders of that base, Patel and Bongino. Legally, it's hard for me to imagine that the list has suddenly never existed because of this order from a federal judge. So somebody is going to force the FBI's hand here.
So the other thing,
let me add one other thing. Of all the pathologists in the country, Michael Baden, B-A-D-E-N, is one of the most highly regarded and one of the government's favorites to use when having to explain to a jury how a person died. Michael Baden concluded Epstein was murdered, that it was impossible for him to have killed himself the way his body ended up.
Do you have questions? Do you have questions?
You know what? I have questions because here you have a judge that heard what the other judge said, release these documents. He is fully aware that there was a list, right? Because of what they needed in order to bring an indictment against Epstein and Maxwell in the first place.
Yep.
And all of a sudden he says, it's hard for me to believe that all of a sudden this list doesn't exist. That's corruption at the highest level. That means that the
They can get to
FBI
anybody.
and the DOJ is still corrupt. There's still bad actors there. I'm not saying that Bongino and Kash Patel are corrupt, but I'm saying that if I were them, I would not have released this letter. I would have been more targeting an internal investigation as to where this information went. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would have said, listen, I don't believe that there's no evidence. We don't have it, but I don't believe it doesn't exist or that it didn't exist, right? That would at least give us more, okay, you know what? Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are not buying into the BS that there's no list. But now we feel like they're buying into the BS that there was no list. How is that? You know, it's like we saw Bongino before he got into his position. We saw Kash Patel. We heard what they were saying. In fact, they were the leaders of release the list.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. They were like leading the charge on this. You're right. They're leading the charge on this. And we just knew when Kash Patel, FBI director, yes. Dan Bongino, it's over now. It's over. Yeah, it's over. All right. It's over. And like I said, if they can get the Dan Bongino of all people, right? You know, like, my goodness, like he never in a million years. If someone would have came to me and said, man, you know what, Dan Bongino, he's going to cave. I was like, no, I don't believe you. Don't believe you. Dan Bongino has been right on it.
So what's changed?
As of right now, so what's changed?
Did they get
so now I saw the 10 hours of the footage. Really? We don't need to see 10 hours of footage. We need to see the 5 minutes before the camera went out, and we need to see the 5 minutes during the camera was out, and the 5 minutes after. That's the only thing. 10 hours of video footage, who cares?
You know, it's funny.
Who cares?
Because you brought up how he looked different.
He didn't feel What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Did Dan Bongino look comfortable in his skin? I mean, because as much as I've seen him, like I said, I didn't watch him religiously, but I've seen him enough. He looked very uncomfortable. I mean, very uncomfortable. Yeah. Like, I just saw something that I can't tell anybody. Like, I just saw, I just saw all the evidence for the UFOs, and I can't tell anybody. Because, you know what it comes down to really quick, Shannon? I think just maybe Dan Bongino, him, Kash Patel, they actually saw some information that would just be so devastating to the country. They rather just take the hit and say, close the case, because it's too devastating for the country.
That could very well be.
And what would that be? And you know what? Personally, I'm sick of it. Let it be devastating.
Yeah. I mean,
let it be devastating.
Since they've been on this side of it, since, Dan Bongino had a podcast show, he was exposing, what he felt was happening in the government. You would think that he would go inside and go, I don't want to be the guy that's all talk and no action.
Yeah.
Because now we feel like he was all talk. Now, could he be, I don't think he's being blackmailed, because I don't believe there's enough. I don't think there's probably anything bad in his background that he would say, oh, don't blackmail me over that.
Or you know what?
I think if anything, his family's probably being threatened.
Actually, Lori on Facebook in the comment just said it looked like he might be, be threatened. It could be his family.
His family could be threatened.
Being threatened. And then SoCal Brit, I think I said Epstein Island is just another example of how the devil is winning in this world.
But you know what? I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree
Will.
with that too.
Maybe there was something just so awful that they thought this is bigger than us, so we need to take the hit, because if we don't take the hit, this is going to cause more turmoil for the world. I don't know, but
yeah, even John on YouTube, John says the level of danger to his family is high. And you know what? There's probably, again, this just goes to show that they can get to anybody. So I guess what needs to happen is whoever's in these positions, the DOJ, the director, or the attorney general, director of FBI, and an assistant director, None of them need to have family members. Or they need to take all their family members and put them in hiding away from the deep state. And I mean, they need to put them in hiding to where the FBI don't even know where they are, because there's people in the FBI probably still trying to get them. This is the corruption at the highest level ever. This is like up there with the auto pen. All right, we got another call.
Yep, we have Victoria from Indiana.
Hey, Victoria, thank you so much for the call.
Hello, you two. I feel bad. I'm old, remember, so I can't remember this girl's name. She just died recently in Australia. She was connected, and she sued the prince. Remember, what's her name?
I know exactly who you're talking about. She was one of the ones that was that end up on the Epstein Island, right?
Virginia Guthrie.
Yeah.
There it is. Well, that explains to me why she passed away mysteriously. And Shannon, you made me think of something else. Didn't Bongino and who's the other guy? I just forgot his name.
Cash Patel?
Patel, yeah.
Patel. They both wrote books. I wish I could afford to have bought those books, and I'd be reading them right now because I'd like to know what they said in them books.
Right. Yeah. It's funny what and I think that wholeheartedly their podcast and what they said when they were in position is more real and more valuable than what they're saying now that they're in a position. Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I hear what you're saying there, Shannon. I agree with you on that.
It's just sad.
About the families and that stuff.
It's sad that we're disappointed again.
Yeah. And you know what's even sadder? That a word? Sadder? more disappointing.
More sad.
You know what's more disappointing is that we just had a big win for America, and our topic is the no Epstein files.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we just had a win. And okay, we won really big for America. No taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, and so many other positive things. Securing our border, more ICE agents. We're such a humongous win. And that doesn't matter. We're talking about Epstein file because of the corruption.
Yeah. And there's two more things. Number one, if Elon knows who's on the list, well, let's see it, Elon. The other thing is, look at it like this, you guys. They are not exposing to us who these predators are, right? That means they're not protecting our American children.
Correct.
Period.
Correct.
So
100%.
they all better get on the ball.
Yep. Well, hey, thank you so much for the call, Victoria.
Yeah. Yeah. You all have a great day.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
You too. Okay. The next caller, the last four numbers are 8597. You're on the line.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name's Brenda. I'm calling from Illinois.
Hello, Brenda. Thank you so much for the call. What do you think, Brenda?
Hi, Will. Hi, Shannon. I think you're spot on. I don't know what's going on here, but what we need is get Scooby and Shaggy back in and pull the mask off all these creeps. Because I think there's a lot of creeps, surrounding Trump and surrounding our whole government, of course,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
it's sad.
We need to pull the mask off. It's time. We've been doing this for so many years, decades, whatever.
Yeah. And that's why I said if it's going to be that damaging to the country, then let it be damaging. We've got to get on the other side of this.
Yes, we have to go through it.
Yeah, we have to go through it.
I mean, like you say, it's in the Bible. It tells you we're going to go through it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think we're at that time where, it may not be the total end, but it's the beginning of the end or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. We're in the birth pains of it. But I think
they can't let us have wins. That's not the way it works at this point in time.
That is true. That is
true. And the sad thing is who do we get to do the job? Because we thought we got the best people for it. We thought
we had champions.
That's what I said. The masks have got to come off so we know who's real and who's not. It's we've already seen that there's many skin masks from Biden even, or different people, and then they brush that under the rug like everything else.
You know what? And it's interesting you bring that up because President Trump even shared a post showing that it different Joe Bidens. President Trump.
Well, there was one that was really, really tall.
Yeah.
There was one caught on the streets at night, going to his car, and he still had his mask on.
Yeah. I mean, it's really weird. It's really weird. So.
Well, there's a lot more of that, I think, than any of us even want to believe, because it's kind of spooky, you know. It's really out there that they would do this to the American people. So. But thanks for taking my call, and
Absolutely,
I love you guys'
Brenda.
show.
Thanks for your
thank you
feedback.
so much.
We love it.
Yeah, God bless you.
God bless you.
Okay, we have just a couple more minutes. You know, this Epstein, I mean, look, this is not the only story in the news either. I mean, there's a horrific episodes that's happening right here in Texas. And Filter Dog, I want to say thank you to Filter Dog for the gold pills. And Filter Dog asked Shannon, are we getting rained on in Austin? Yes, we are getting rained on in Austin. I am about, what is it? An hour and a half away from where the major flood took place.
Yeah.
I'm about an hour and a half away. And I've had multiple people already ask me. Actually, Shannon last night said, should I take a trip out there? And I said, you know,
there's so many people
there's
out
so many
there,
people out there.
They've asked people not to get in the way.
If I'm just out there, if I'm out there, then I'm like, I don't want to be in the way, but I don't want to be like there reporting on it just so I can get the story. The story is a horrible story.
I have to say, just so you know, people know, we've been here now for
6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
And this
6 years to 4th of July made 6 years to the day. Sorry, go ahead, Shannon.
Right. And so this was our first 4th of July that it actually rained like this. Well, there was so much rain. I know everybody's seeing the story just about Kerrville, but there was evacuations everywhere in Georgetown and Liberty Hill and Leander, like all these places all around us. On Facebook, people were asking for help because they were getting stuck. We had, I got an alert on my phone that said, you know, if you don't have to get on the freeway and drive, please don't. The freeway is flooded, and my son had already left. He had to go somewhere. And I called him. I said, hey, listen, be careful out there. They're saying there's flood on the freeway. And he said, I literally just saw an accident right in front of me. And he said he hydroplaned 3 times. I mean, there was just so much rain, and it just kept coming and coming and coming. And we were just like, it was so dreary.
Yeah. And let me add this to it, that since we've been here in Texas, like you just mentioned, Shannon, that we've never seen it rain on 4th. Well, I remember raining one time, but nothing like this. What's been happening here in Texas is that you'll get up in the morning, beautiful, the skies are clear, the sun is shining, beautiful day. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just starts pouring down raining. I mean, like the clouds have been there hanging out all day long, and it just comes down. And the next thing you know, the streets are flooded, everything. And then you're hearing all of these reports that they're saying that no one was notified. President Trump ended the notification system.
Oh my gosh.
They're saying this all around. President Trump. And they're saying because President Trump got rid of these people that were abusing the system, that's the reason why people are no longer getting notifications. It is such BS.
Our phones were going
off. Oh my
Non-stop.
goodness.
Warning after warning.
Warning after warning. I should have recorded one of them.
Yeah. I mean, we're just like constantly alarms going off, and we're like, oh my gosh. It literally, the local weather guy was saying it was so unusual. This storm came over us and just stayed there.
Yeah. It hovered over Texas.
It was just staying there.
Yeah.
Central Texas specifically.
Yeah. Just hovering over Texas. Right there.
I have a caller. Do you want to take it real quick?
Yes. Let's go.
Okay. Caller, you're on the line.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, do you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's your first name and where you calling from?
Hi, it's Amy. I'm out of New Jersey. How are you?
You said Amy?
Spoken to you for yes, sir.
Okay.
Hi. You know, no one's talking about PM Bondi and what she's connected with. I don't know if I've been typing it in your chat, but you have to look at what she was involved with and what she took money from when she was Attorney General. She took money from a cult called Scientology. They are known traffickers of children. She's involved with a lot of stuff. She's covered up a lot of crimes for them. They do child traffic. They use child labor, and this cult. It's not the Tom Cruise little religion. It's a cult that is an MLM. They scam their way to get tax-exempt status, and she's involved in it. She's spoken at their events. She's bought off. There's something she's hiding. And Trump, I'm very, very, very disappointed in him for not looking into that situation. He's in the state of Florida where they have that major headquarters in Clearwater that I call cult water. And if he wants to get serious about stopping the abuse of children and child trafficking, he would not have appointed her. Something is up with that woman, and I don't know what it is, but they have to end all of these cults, and maybe they will get sort of serious about exposing what's on that list. And I don't care. Expose it and get her and stop appointing these people. You know what they do? This cult has kids born into it, and they're slaves. They have slave labor in this cult.
Yeah, and the kids don't know any better. Because that's the world they were born into.
I hear you.
It is so evil.
I hear you, but she's in the position now where people bring her the information. So Kash Patel's bringing her the information. Dan Bongino is bringing her the information. Like, she has people bringing it to her. So she's not like a lone person out there, right? She has all these people that...
Do you know how much they gave her? They gave her money. She's been influenced. And what they did, they do things where they buy people off. And I don't trust her one bit.
Well, I think a lot of us agree that we don't really care
and
for
I'm sort
Pam
of
Bondi.
upset.
And did you hear?
No,
Trump?
you don't need to apologize. You know what? I'm the
Trump?
same way. I don't trust her either. Everyone's not trusting her.
They were at
and we have every right not to trust her. Sorry, go ahead, Shannon.
A couple Fridays ago, Trump was at a press conference with her, and he said, "Well, so far, I think you're doing a good job."
Yeah,
that's
what I was mentioning. Yeah,
and I thought, wow.
Well, I've been tweeting him. I'm trying to get people aware of what she's involved with, because if you're going to just go for these low-lying fruit, there's some stuff way up top that they really need to go after.
And that's been my frustration, because they've been going after MS-13 and Trey Day Agua and all these criminals. That's low-hanging fruit. We expect her to do that. We expect it. That's part of the job. But what they're not doing is going after these people that did the Russia dossier, that all these other people that did all this corruption that we're completely aware of. They're not touching them at all. You're absolutely right.
Government corruption is what we want to see some people being held accountable for.
And you know what? And Ghislaine Maxwell's father was in that cult as well, just so you know. He's involved with that. There's so much stuff that you have to look at, this religious stuff that they use to traffic children. They have to look into everything. I don't care if they're considered a religion. We have to really prosecute these people. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. I have no faith in everything anymore.
Yeah,
I don't trust any side of the spectrum anymore. I really don't. I just don't trust anybody. I'm so disappointed in everything. That's all.
Yep, the only one that I trust right now is our Lord Jesus Christ.
Thanks, Amy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Amy. Take care. Yeah, you know what? That's the only thing we can trust. I mean, this just proves it right here. This proves it right here. We just all knew that all this corruption, all of this evil stuff that they were doing was about to come to an end. This is part of the reason why they tried to take out President Trump twice. The reason why they're trying to put him in jail. The reason why they're trying to remove him from the ballot. The reason they indicted him 4 times. The reason they had 90 plus charges against him. The reason why they tried to bankrupt him. I mean, the reason why they took a mugshot of him, because he coming in was going to get people that was going to expose all of this evilness, the evilness. So the only one we can trust is our Lord Jesus Christ. That's it. We can't depend on anybody, no man in this world to do the right thing. Only Jesus Christ. Only Jesus Christ. Hey, let me get you to go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com. Please sign up for the free newsletter. And I just put out a new t-shirt. Y'all see this? This is my latest one. I just did this yesterday because I see all of the left. They love Gator. They love Alligator Island, right? Alligator Island, but it's Alligator Alcatraz. They love it so much. I went ahead and created a t-shirt. Mine is on the way. I can't wait to wear it. So if you want to support me in getting something beautiful too, uniteamericafirst.com, click on merch, and you'll see right there the alligator Alcatraz t-shirt. And the left, I mean, if they didn't love it so much, I probably wouldn't even make it, but they love it. They love it a lot. And you can see it says alligator Alcatraz, and I put the alligator Alcatraz. I made it look like a little alligator skin, just a little bit. And you'll be able to see it. It's a beautiful shirt. It's a beautiful shirt. Hold an American flag. Also, uniteamericafirst.com/donate. Go to my website. I need your support. Many people have actually been helping me out doing a monthly subscription. Or for those of you that want to just help me out one time, you can see the normal ones. Or you can go down below that. My physical address is right there. And I've kept every single letter and envelope. And I have one from Ellen from St. Louis. And then I have another one here from Kimberly from Missouri. Right here. I didn't want no address to be seen on there other than my address. Their personal addresses on here. But I keep every single envelope and the letter that they send me. So thank you, everybody. God bless you. At 1 hour from now, I will be doing my show, Culture Wars, which I'm going to show some more stuff. And we're going to get into talking a little bit more about what's happening here in Texas as far as the weather. You don't want to miss it.